Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Erica, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Happy Monday. I hope you're having an amazing day thus far. I know sometimes it's hard getting that week started off, especially the work week. But again, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am here to do my weekly recap of Married to Medicine, which we all know if you have been watching my channel for a while. That is my all-time favorite show on Bravo right now. I know that I saw within the past week that the ratings for episode 1 of the season opener, the ratings were kind of low, and they said it was a series low. Well, the show was pretty good to me. I know I can't speak for everyone, and I know some people really don't like the show, but guys, I really like this show. And I really just hope that it can stick around. They don't have a whole lot of black shows on Bravo, so I really just hope that Married to Medicine can just kind of pull through and get some really good ratings this season, and of course remain on Bravo. So let's get started. The episode, again, this is season 12, episode 2. And it was called Makeups and Breakups. Now, for me, the episode was okay. I'm not a person, I'm not bored with Married to Medicine. Again, this is kind of like my favorite show, so I'm okay if they have kind of like a slower episode. We do now know that a lot of these shows have filler episodes. Some episodes are filled with a lot of drama and a lot going on, and then some of the episodes are fairly slow. I'm okay with Married to Medicine even when they have a filler episode, because I always get enough out of the show, even just to give you guys a little content and kind of tell you what's going on. I always get enough. As you can see, I have my notes here, so let's get started. So, of course, the opening scene, they had the little montages in the beginning, but the opening scene was Toya. Toya was actually waiting by the pool. And she was talking. She had a cute little note in the kitchen telling Dr. Eugene, to meet her by the pool when he comes in. Of course, it appears that Dr. Eugene has come home from work. We already know from the first episode that Dr. Eugene works probably, I think he said 2.5 hours away. So going both ways is probably like 4.5 to 5 hours in traffic. And he works there 2.5 hours to work, but it's 5 days a week. So again, he's home. Dr. Eugene meets Toya by the pool. Dr. Eugene says he would have rather met Toya in the bedroom under the covers. And we all know what that means. Dr. Eugene is looking good. He's lost some weight. He says he's feeling better. You can tell that Dr. Eugene is in a different place. And so Toya was saying, kind of like the roles have reversed now. She's much more tired and she doesn't have the same energy. Of course, we know Toya is almost 50 years old. She doesn't look it, but Toya is getting older. So Toya might have to do a little HRT herself. But anyway, so they were just talking. So Dr. Eugene asked her like what was going on, and he did not go to Steve and Dr. Mimi's polo classic or their little event. So he asked her how it was. She said everything was good. She said it was okay. The event was really nice. She did tell Dr. Eugene that Heavenly wasn't there. And so, Dr. Eugene was, just asking her how did that go. She told Dr. Eugene that Heavenly is running for office as state's representative or whatever for Georgia. Dr. Eugene was sort of taken aback, but he didn't say anything negative at all. He was just kind of surprised. Toya was saying, with how Heavenly normally acts, she just didn't believe it at first when Dr. Jackie told her. But, hey, Heavenly is making a run at it. Toya just doesn't feel like Heavenly is the appropriate person to actually run for office, especially how messy and dramatic she is. Dr. Eugene made a joke, which I agree with. Hey, in this climate, anybody can win. So she definitely has a great chance, especially in this political climate here in the United States with what we see every day. So yeah, she has a great chance. So that was like the gist of their conversation. We switch over to Dr. Heavenly at home. Dr. Heavenly was not really in the first episode, but she's back. She was talking to Dr. Damon. She was showing Dr. Damon her actual, I guess, maybe her, it was like her internet page, or her saying, with her title, she's running, like I said, for, her political office. She was showing him, talking to him about it. He said, well, you know, did you think I would do it? That's what she asked him. He said, yeah, I kind of knew you would do it. You know, it's cool. I'm behind you. They started talking about their oldest son, Damon Jr. What came out, we learned, is an old incident. Damon Jr. got arrested by the police in 2022. And but we all know that when you're running for political office, oftentimes things come back, you know, things that have happened sort of resurface. And I think it came up because, of course, like I said, she put herself out there, so it was now announced to the world that something happened with Damon Jr. Damon actually handled the situation. He covered it up. Heavenly says she didn't even know that it occurred or happened when it did. She did not know until it came out on the internet. She asked Damon why he kept it from her. And, you know, Heavenly, when she's talking to Dr. Damon, she has this, you know, little soft, very meek, mild, submissive voice. And, well, Daddy, you never told me, you know, that this went on, and I don't like when you do that to me. I thought you should have let me know that this happened, you know. And then when Heavenly's with the women, she's an animal. She's a monster. She's like the Tasmanian devil. So it's like she has this, you know, she has these personalities where she flips in and out. When she's with Dr. Damon, she's just like this sweet, meek, mild lady. And then when she's with the ladies, it's something totally different. But anyway, Damon was telling her he handled it. He said he told her. But you know, it looks as though they have had some issues within the family. Dr. Heavenly said, hey, you know, of course, when she found out about it, she kind of flipped out. She said she used a lot of curse words. She said a lot of things. And I know for a fact that Heavenly wants her children to be perfect because Heavenly knows what she has done in the past to other people. And she doesn't want it to come back to bite her. See, that's the thing about it. We know that you reap what you sow. It's just one of those principles in life that we know that you reap what you sow. And Heavenly knows for a fact, 1000%, that she will probably reap some of the things that, you know, she has sown, all the evil seeds that she's sown, but she's worried and she's concerned, and she probably lost it on her son. Apparently, Damon Jr. left the house, has not come back, and has not spoken to her or seen them within like a month or two. I think she said at least a month. He hasn't even talk to her. And she asked Damon, could he get him to come home? And Damon said no. So that let me know in that moment, it's a lot more serious than what we, you know, what she's letting on or what we know. There are definitely some issues there between Dr. Heavenly and her oldest son. Whatever it was, it has caused a rift, and he does not want to be bothered with them. Damon just said, you know, I'm not going to interfere. He has to work that out, whatever's going on. I just pray that, you know, he will come around, and when he does, I will be there for him. So again, this is now a time that we see something's going on. Now, of course, I don't think the other ladies are going to relish in that, but I will say, Heavenly, it's time for, I know that you said your family's not for sale. I know that you said, you know, you don't want to talk about certain things with your family, but I think it's time for you to be a little more honest. And, you know, because we can see, hey, something's going on. And the more you try to hide it, and the more you try to conceal it and squeeze it and make it seem as if there's nothing wrong, is going to, the blowback from that is going to be even worse, because you have sort of, like I said, attacked everyone else, and now everyone's sort of looking at you and sort of waiting with bated breath to hear something about you. And it's really sad. I have said it in all of my videos. I started recording videos and doing the recaps of Married to Medicine last year. Heavenly is not one of my favorite people. I know for a simple fact, like, over the years, Heavenly is definitely needed for the show, but I think she has gone a little too low. She's gone a little too hard with what she's done to the ladies, and sometimes it's just hard to come back from that. And I just think this is a time where she knows it can get a little sticky. So we will see. So then we move on. Toya and Dr. Simone, of course, they're really good friends. They went to see Brandy. Brandy is a nurse practitioner. Brandy is one of the new, I guess you would say, medical wives. But she is not only is she a wife, but she's also a nurse practitioner. And then she has sort of just kind of shifted into doing some other things. I know she said she worked for Dr. Damon, doing with his interventional medicine and his pain management practice, and then now she's doing things like dermatology, like, you know, with cosmetic procedures, which is definitely, you know, a big industry now. I'm sure she's making a lot of money doing that. So Toya and Dr. Simone were there to have some procedures done. Unfortunately, Toya got a call from Ashton saying that their dog passed away. Their housekeeper Anna, I think, let their dog Bailey's out, and she did say Bailey's with an S. Let Bailey's out. Unfortunately, Bailey's ended up in the pool, and somehow Bailey's drowned. And Toya was really upset. She started crying. You know, Bailey's is a huge part of their family. We've seen Bailey's running all around throughout the seasons. And so it was really sad. Dr. Simone and Brandy were very empathetic and sympathetic toward her with this situation. I am a person, I say all the time, I don't have it, you know, I don't have any pets. I'm not a dog lover, cat lover, an animal lover, period. I'm like Dr. Jackie and Brandy. I don't have any pets here in my home. I didn't grow up with pets. You know, none of my family members really had pets. My friends don't have any pets. So it's just not something that, you know, I'm used to having around me, but I do understand that people love their pets. It's almost like a second child to them. And so I really could, you know, like I said, empathize with the fact that Toya was really upset about losing Bailey's. So, you know, even to the point where, you know, Toya decided to have a funeral for the dog. I mean, you know, not something, again, that we see a lot, especially with Married to Medicine. We thought that I didn't think we would ever see a funeral on Married to Medicine again, or at least a reenactment of that, because we know in season 10, Quad sort of had this resurrection ceremony, but they did have a funeral for Bailey's, and all the ladies came, especially, you know, the only one that wasn't there was Quad, and I know Quad is a dog owner as well. We know that she had Chloe and Kari throughout the years. But I know Dr. Contessa bought her dog. So Dr. Simone bought her 2 dogs, and Heavenly bought her dog. Like I said, Dr. Jackie and Brandy, they don't have any pets. And Mimi said her dog, Louie, also passed away this year. Again, just a nice little ceremony. And hey, that was the end of that. So we move on. Dr. Contessa and Scott, we learned in the first episode of this season that they bought a building. They want to have a lifestyle medical facility, and it's costing them a lot of money. The renovations are going overtime. They're not getting done at the appropriate time, so they're lagging behind. We also learned that Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott sort of used all of their, you know, took all the money out their 401k and used a lot of their assets, and a lot of, I guess they cashed in some of their other things just to get this done. You know, we know that we have, you know, other investments and stuff like that. So they cashed in. Is it a good idea? Sure. I look at Dr. Contessa. I think Dr. Contessa has always been a visionary, but I think that she can be an overachiever. We know that she wanted to be the Surgeon General at one point. She's always had these great ideas of what she wants to do. But there's something that I learned at my age. Is it a good idea, or is it a God idea? I think it's great when you can be an entrepreneur and own your own business. Of course, we have to understand that that is really not for everyone. So you have to make sure that you sort of stay in your lane with that. I'm not saying that Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott shouldn't do it, but again, this is their second medical practice. They're putting a lot of money into it. I think it would have been okay had Dr. Contessa actually stayed on the show all of those years. She would have been making a whole lot more money, and then she could have put a little more money into it. But with her just coming back to the show, it's kind of bad that they had to sort of empty out their, I don't want to say empty out their bank accounts, but use quite a bit of their money just to make this happen. It appears as if Dr. Eugene and Toya are in talks to sort of rent a space from Dr. Scott, Dr. Contessa. Not sure if that's a great idea. You know, going into business with your friends sometimes can be, as they would say, the kiss of death. I don't know about this. They seem to be in a really good place. I don't see Dr. Eugene trying to take advantage of them, and I don't see Scott and Contessa trying to take advantage of Dr. Eugene at all. But you just never know. So they have to be very or extremely careful in making that decision. But we will probably see how that sort of plays out throughout the season, because right now the building is still under construction. So the interior designer can't even come in and do what she needs to do because there are so many delays. So at the end, the final scene, which was the biggest scene of the night, Dr. Jackie was hosting an event. They went to like a studio, it was a dance studio, and she told them all to dress very sexy. We see Toya, Dr. Contessa riding together. Toya says she's always sexy, so for Jackie to tell her that, that was nothing. The ladies come in, you know, some of them, they are in, you know, their leggings, they have on their lace tights, they have on their little, you know, their little booty shorts. You know, everyone was giving something. Quad had on like a liquid leather jumpsuit with the lace stockings. You know, we saw Angel coming in. You know, she had her little outfit on. Dr. Jackie at her age 62, I think, looks really, really good. She had on like liquid leather leggings, but she looked really, really good for her age. So everybody, you know, came in sort of ready to, you know, see what was going on and what they were going to do. Of course, Dr. Contessa, it was a joke. Dr. Contessa bought some liquor for the ladies to kind of loosen up because Dr. Jackie doesn't drink. So she bought something for the other ladies who do. So they sort of dance. They get loosened up. They start dancing. It's kind of like a dance class for them. And then Dr. Jackie said, well, Dr. Jackie told them in the beginning, this is just for us to kind of get our issues out, but have fun at the same time. So the ladies seemed like they had a great time with the dancing and all of those things. I don't think they actually did a routine or anything, but, you know, they had fun nonetheless. So after that was over, Dr. Jackie said, well, look, we need to talk about some serious issues. There are some issues going on in the group. Now, I will say that one of the things, they kind of started flipping back and forth. The men, we know that the men of Married to Medicine are a very intricate part of the show. It was good to see all of the men get together. So that included, you know, Dr. Eugene, Cecil, Curtis, Dr. Damon, Dr. Scott, King. We also saw Steve, and now Brandy's husband. And I hope I hope I called Brandy's name appropriate earlier. I hope I didn't say Brittany, but her name is Brandy. Brandy's husband, Shamar. Shamar even came to their event, and he seems to kind of fit in with the guys. So they were talking about Steve's little polo event. Shamar said he had a great time, and some of the guys were joking like, oh, that's good. I'm glad it was like a cool event. The ladies didn't really go there too much. And so Shamar was saying like, hey, is this something that I need to, you know, what should I anticipate something different? And Dr. Eugene was kind of telling the guy, you know, telling Shamar, yeah, hey, sometimes it can get a little wild, you know, but you have to kind of stay out of it. Of course, support your wife. Let her know that you support her, but at the same time, you know, just kind of, as the men, they kind of stay back. They have their own thing going, but of course, you know, hey, just be there for your wife. So we could see that Curtis was a little angry. Dr. Eugene was saying, yeah, you have to support your wife. And he said, don't try to push the ladies together if your wife has a conflict with another lady. And we know that Dr. Eugene and Cecil really understand that, because even in season 2, I think Dr. Eugene and Cecil were trying to push Simone and Toya back together, and it just did not work. And then also Cecil has always been very close and very cool with Quad. And because Dr. Simone and Quad were beefing, it kind of caused a problem with Cecil always kind of taking up for her. So Dr. Eugene was kind of giving him the do's and don'ts of what to do. Curtis, like I said, is a little offended by what Toya said. When Toya was on Watch What Happens Live, Toya said, hey, you know, Curtis needs to keep his hands to himself, because there was a picture where he had his hand hands on Heavenly's waist. However, you know, Toya just made a little snide remark like saying, yeah, he's had his hand on plenty of or different ways, people's waists, but he needs to, you know, put his hands in his pockets. And so Curtis is offended by that. He didn't necessarily say it, but he was like, well, you're talking about supporting your wife, but you also have to, basically correct her when she says something wrong. I don't know the extent they probably talked about it in depth, but it didn't come out in their conversation. So they all agreed if your wife is wrong, I know Scott and Steve definitely say if your wife is wrong, you do need to kind of pull them up on that. Dr. Eugene said he would do that, but normally Toya doesn't say anything that's wrong. So I could tell that Dr. Eugene and Curtis kind of had some tension there, but Dr. Eugene, as always, he is one of the guys in the group that likes to get along with everyone. He really doesn't mean any harm. So he said, well, hey, let's get off this serious topic. I haven't seen you guys in a long time. What's going on? He, looked to Damon and said, hey, I know Dr. Heavenly's running for office. How do you feel about that? That's news to us. And Damon was just saying, she's a smart lady. He supports her 100%. And that was pretty much the gist of the men. We go back to Dr. Jackie, and she said, well, we're going to play a little game. We're going to get to the root of our issues. Dr. Jackie's first question, she had a list of questions. The first one was, the question was actually, I'm going to tell you what it was. The question was, or a scenario of, do I look through my husband's phone? We know that Toya is always going to be honest. Toya says absolutely 100% she looks through Eugene's phone. She said she grew up with parents who were cheating, and it just affected her in that way. So yes, she's going to look. She said, I can't, fight. She said, I can't fight the devil properly if I don't know what's going on. The other ladies, I don't think they were affected by what Toya says because everybody knows how Toya is. Toya has said that probably back in like season 2 that she always looks through Eugene's phone. Dr. Eugene said he's cool with it because he knows that of her. And so then Dr. Jackie said, well, let's talk about something that's a little more serious. So the question was, I wrote it down. She said, Simone, she turned to Simone, or she looked at Simone, and, Dr. Jackie and Simone are in a better place. So she said, Simone, would you have gone to Quad's party regardless of when you were invited? And so Simone said, yes, I would have gone. I would not have turned the invitation down. And so they started getting into it about what had been said and what had been going back and forth between them. I have said this, if you look back at my videos from last season and now, I've always said, guys, Quad and some Dr. Simone are good friends. They have been fighting for a long time, but there is genuine love there. There's something there between them. They could really be very, very, very close. I believe that Quad and Simone probably would have even been closer than her and Toya had her and Quad not really fallen out. There is definitely love there, and they sort of yelled at each other, but they were also crying. There was a lot of emotion there, and there's a lot of hurt there. Quad apologized to Simone. She said, I don't even know how we got to this place. She said, but I'm very sorry because you hurt me and I know that I hurt you. Simone said, I have been operating out of my pain because you shut me out and it hurt me very, very bad. And I didn't really know what else to do because my feelings were so hurt. And they got to the bottom of it. And I hope we don't even have to address this anymore. It was so good to see them because I really think it was genuine. If you look at my other videos, my other recaps, what have I always said? I said, I really think there are outside forces that are getting in their ears about things. And I even wrote it down, keep Heavenly out of your friendship, because I think that Heavenly, like I said, has been pulling the strings for so long that she creates the stories, she creates the drama every season because that's kind of like her role on the show. And I think she's sort of been pulling the strings and orchestrating it even between Quad and Dr. Simone because they really don't talk. But I really hope that this was a sincere moment. I do believe it was a sincere moment, and I hope that they can stay in a good place, because it was really good to see. So they hugged it out and everything was fine, and everybody, and I can see where everybody was glad that they got there. So Toya said, well, good, do you guys need to go outside? I'm glad to see this, but do you need your moment? Because we need to move on and talk about some other things. So then Toya said, well, Heavenly, we heard that you're running for office. I'm just surprised because you can't, maintain the friendships in this group, or your friends. You treat your friends a certain kind of way. So how are you going to run for office? So, Heavenly was like, do you even know what this position is about? Toya said, I really don't care, because I really just don't see it. You are the type of person, you're not. In other words, Toya was telling Heavenly to her face, you're not a good person. How are you going to represent people when you actually do nothing but tear people down? And so you can tell that that's going to be very heated between them this season. And so, Heavenly said, well, I've been hearing that you've been asking questions. And Toya was like, yeah, she was like, straight up, Toya's not afraid. Toya doesn't mind standing on her own and taking on Heavenly by herself. She wasn't asking for any help. She wasn't looking for support or looking for anyone to sort of, have her back in that moment. She took Heavenly on straight up, face to face. And then she said, so Heavenly said, you better keep my kid's name out of my children's name out of your mouth. She said, oh yeah. Toya said, oh yeah, that's another thing. Even as she was walking toward Heavenly, yeah, because Toya said, we haven't gotten there yet. So yeah, let's talk about that. So it kind of went off with them kind of like trying to separate Heavenly and Toya. Heavenly got loud and, oh, Toya, you don't really want me to talk about what I really know, because I can really tell all your business about your family. And of course, we know whatever Heavenly knows, it probably won't matter, because A, we've probably heard it before, and then B, Toya really doesn't care. Toya is an open book. If it's something, Toya would probably admit to it, especially if it's the truth. So we are going to see what happens between, it is a face-off between Toya and Heavenly for this season. So we'll see how it turns out, guys. That was the end of the episode. So tell me what you think. Number one, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and also share the video if you know that one of your friends or somebody else hasn't actually seen it. Please feel free to share my video. I would greatly appreciate it. But let me know what you think. I know it's only episode 2. Let me know how you feel about the Dr. Simone and Quad reconciliation. Were you happy about it? Do you feel like it will last, or do you feel like they will go right back to how it was? Tell me how you feel about Toya and Heavenly. Do you feel like Heavenly was being truthful about her son? Is there more to it than meets the eye? Or is it just something that this was a one-time incident? And also, how do you feel about Toya facing off with Heavenly? Do you feel like Heavenly should get a dragging? Or do you think, hey, they should back off of Heavenly knowing that she's running for office, or, the fact of what happened with her son? So drop me a comment. I know that's not everybody's thing, but I would greatly appreciate it too if you drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I will definitely respond. And yeah, that was it. So catch me, like I said, on my next review, which will probably be, well, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I normally do Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I think they're going to be on break this week. So the next time I see you, if there's something else that I feel like I want to review or recap, I will definitely come back down to the YouTube streets and give you that information or give you that recap. So have a good day, guys. Like I said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying this holiday season, because we're definitely into it. It's like the most wonderful time of the year, at least for me. I just like the feel of the holidays. I know it's not everybody's thing, but I really, really enjoy this time, and I hope that you do as well. So have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.